Hey guys, it's Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and 2 days ago I made a video about the new Xbox 720 that will be coming out for Christmas, and everyone said, talk about the PS4. So I made a video about the PS4, and everyone said, talk about the Steambox, and I figured, you know, I might make this like a little series. Maybe tomorrow, if you guys are interested in it, leave a comment, let me know. I can cover the Ouya, and we'll probably call it good on console news for a little while, because those four are the only things coming out. But Steambox, let's talk about what to expect. First, for my console friends who don't know much about Valve, they're a company, they have two primary things. One is the game development side of the house. They've made some incredible games. I know personally I love Left 4 Dead, Team Fortress 2 is a huge hit, Counter-Strike is a huge hit, Half-Life is a huge hit. There's probably other great games that I'm not thinking of right now, but they make great games. The other thing they do is they're this online retailer, and they redistribute other people's games through Steam. And at first it wasn't super popular, but then it became really popular when Valve discovered that, hey, if you put games on sale, the people start really buying them. I said sale weird. And now people just love the notion that after a couple months, Valve's able to lower the price on a game, and the game developers love the notion that you know, the game sales don't necessarily have to end 2 weeks after the game comes out, that you can lower the price and get a second surge of revenue. So super successful experiment with new business models. Customers love them, game developers love them. They're not a bad choice to be our next console overlords if they by chance win the console wars. Speaking of the console, it is quote-unquote confirmed for the first quarter of next year. If you're unfamiliar with the quarter business, that means by March of 2013. That's pretty exciting. Oh, when I say next year, I'm making this on New Year's Eve, so that's kind of tricky, but let's just say March of 2013. That's a big deal, right? You know, the new thing's supposed to come out in the next 3 months, but there is this concept of Valve time that you need to be familiar with. Maybe you're not. Valve releases when they feel like releasing. They always have. I suppose they always will. You know, 3 months in Valve time might be a year in your time or my time. So when they say that it's coming out in the first quarter of next year, I would treat that cautiously, because oftentimes it doesn't work out like you expect it to. I love Valve, you know, but you need to know about Valve time. Go ahead, Google Valve time and see if I'm not right. As for what it is, they've been moving towards this living room entry for a while now. There's something called Big Picture, which is designed to make games and, you know, Steam related services work better on TVs. And also they're trying to work with a controller. They've discovered that if you want to work in the living room, then a keyboard and mouse is only going to get you so far, right? The mouse in particular, you know, I don't know how I'd use a mouse in my living room unless someone can design a better like couch mouse experience. I don't know. Controllers work really well if you're sitting in a, you know, comfy reclining chair, but keyboard and mice, you know, they don't work. Especially the mouse doesn't work as well in a recliner. So they've changed up their stuff. They've added some services, and they're trying to get a lot of games working. They even had a big sale recently on games that worked well with consoles, or I mean to say work well with controllers, and it just sort of emphasized their push into the living room. Hardware specs. These are a mystery, man. A total mystery. These guys keep secrets better than Apple. They keep secrets better than our Department of Defense does. I know nothing. I've looked everywhere, and I can't find anything having to do with, you know, with the PC specs, with the Steambox specs. I wanted to compare it to the PS4 and the 720 and give my own competitive analysis, but you know, what we can predict is this. It will probably be PC spec, right? You know, like oftentimes with the Xbox, or the PS4 is an even better example. They came up with their own cell processor and they invented the thing practically from scratch. I do not expect Valve to be inventing the console from scratch. Instead, you know, what I predict is that they'll be coming up with the console spec from nearly off-the-shelf parts. Maybe they'll come up with the case from scratch, but they're not going to be starting from fresh with you know, with all the parts that go into this thing. Instead, it'll be probably parts that, you know, the Linux operating system already supports, good graphic cards, well-known CPUs, and that'll be that. I don't know if I said already, it's going to run Linux, almost certainly. They've had this big push towards it, and Linux can be a pretty lightweight operating system, which is exciting. You know, some people push for more and more powerful hardware, but I am more interested in performance than the hardware spec itself. And if you can take something like Linux, which runs on old machines, conceivably well, then it's great if they can make $600 worth of hardware run like $1,200 worth of hardware, because they take off that extra load, all that other stuff that your PC is doing at the same time. Pricing. There is no rumor on pricing yet either, but I think if we just put 2 and 2 together, we can make some good guesses, and that is, it's going to be expensive. Here's the deal. Consoles are often sold at a loss at first. That's how it works, right? They lose money when they sell every Xbox. They lose money when they sell every PS4 or PS3. I remember when Xbox 360s first came out, people were cracking them and finding ways to use them for other PC purposes. And the reason was that you could buy it cheaper than a PC, yet it had these great specs because they sold it at a loss. Well, Valve, that's not their business model. They don't have relationships with all these game vendors where, heck, if the thing runs on your PC, it costs $60, but if it runs on your console, it costs $70 because, the console, we need to make up some money because we sold the darn thing at a loss. I think they're going to try and make money off every console sale, which is, right, that's fine. You're supposed to make money. But they're going to make money off every console sale, and then you can expect, the games not to subsidize them. So that's the deal. I wouldn't be surprised if their console costs, $600 or something like that. And depending on how long it lasts, that's the balance. I mean, you guys have heard me talk before about how I would buy a new console every 4 or 5 years. I'm down, right? For me, like, games are a big part of my life. I really enjoy them. I think they're fantastic. We don't have television. My wife and kids and me, and we all play games, and we play games together, and it's great. So, like, we're willing to drop $500 on this, every so often. But other people say, well, look, if I'm going to make this kind of investment, I hope that it's a 10-year appliance, right? That they want their $500 appliance to last like their dryer does, or their DVR does, or something like that, a Blu-ray player. You don't expect to buy a new Blu-ray player every 3 years, every 5 years. People have the same concept with their game machine, too. Some people do, some people don't, and you can decide for yourself where you fall. Me, like I said, they're a big deal to me, so I like to get games a lot, or game consoles a lot. They just don't come out. Another thing different about the Steambox is they have this games first mentality, and personally, I don't know if I love that. The Xbox and the PlayStation have both expanded to be more than just a gaming machine. They're general entertainment machines, right? The PlayStation 3, for example, it has Netflix on it. It has a Blu-ray player in it. It does more than just play games. On the Xbox 360 side, it doesn't have a Blu-ray player, but it does have Netflix, and it has HBO Go, and heck, they both have Hulu. And let's just agree that these are they're going for HDMI port 1 on your TV. That's their objective, to be your primary source of entertainment, whether it be gaming or video or whatever. That's what the target is. For the Steambox, it doesn't look like that's the case. It looks like they want to be your gaming machine, and they're not putting a heavy focus on all that other stuff. Maybe there won't be a Blu-ray player in it. Blu-ray players are kind of expensive. You have to pay Sony for the licensing fees and stuff like that. Even though the hardware's cheap to make now, it's not new tech. You have to pay Sony a couple bucks, maybe 30. I don't want to get it wrong. For every Blu-ray player you make, it can't be 30. That's too high. But so if you're going to see a games first mentality in the Steambox, then I wonder if it's going to be a harder sell to get your parents to buy this thing for you, if that's the position you're in. Or if you're a gamer, you're going to have to say, like, do I really want this more than an all-purpose machine? That's the kind of decision that you'll be making. All right, so let's sum it up. We have a Steambox. It's going to work with a controller. It's going to come out supposedly in the next 3 months. It's going to be kind of expensive. It's not going to be a complete living room solution, but instead more of a gaming-focused device. And it's going to be from Valve, who has a track record of making some really great stuff. That's the Steambox. I look forward to seeing it. I'll get one. I'll let you guys know if it's awesome or if it sucks. Alright, if you liked the video and you're new around here, you can subscribe by clicking on the top right where it says subscribe there. 2 videos you may have missed. The left one, I know it says PS4, but it's actually a link to a playlist which talks about the PS4 and the Xbox 720, and I'll add this one to it. And then the right one is a video I made recently. It's gameplay commentary about what's been on my mind. Check those out and have a good day.